So let's play That Dragon Cancer. I don't really have an intro for this. Let's just jump into it and play. So welcome back. We've been following baby Joel and his family through their journey with terminal cancer. And we're about 50 minutes into this game. We just received the news that it's fatal cancer. There's nothing we can do to save it unless there's a miracle. There's so much rich symbolism in this game, and they just do a good job of capturing the emotions I think that these people had to have felt. And it's similar to the emotions that I've felt with my own son going through stuff.
I have so many things stirring around in my spirit that I have to write to settle myself and find God's wisdom in the midst of chaos. I'm scared I won't be strong enough to face the things we might have to face in the coming weeks and months. But then I remember how much grace God gave us to walk out everything we've already faced. I've never felt completely overwhelmed, and I've never felt alone. So no matter what comes next, and I truly cannot even begin to guess how this will go, I know we will be carried. I want to shout out, look what God is about to do. Watch how he delivers Joel. And at the same time, I want to roll up in a silent ball and wait it out with fear and trembling, so aware of all my doubt, but yet convinced that my doubt is insignificant compared to God's faithfulness.
So that's where Amy's at, the mom, with things.
Are you ready for bed?
Joel, lay down. Okay. Should we do a song?
Sure.
Okay, big boys, why don't you come in here and we'll sing the littles a lullaby.
I'm tired.
No, it's bedtime. Ugh, okay. Oh, Elijah, lay down.
Babe, did you even check in his mouth?
Who's Joel? No.
Joel has chicken stuffed in his cheeks from dinner.
That is so disgusting.
Been in there for the last 2 hours. Okay, hold on.
My son used to do that. He would store food in his cheeks.
Did he just bite you?
Yeah, I think he just put too much in his mouth so he can't swallow.
He was just saving it for later, babe. Like he needed a midnight snack.
Hey, the little chipmunk.
So they can still laugh and enjoy their kid, even though the circumstances are so hard.
A big version of a little chipmunk. Do you guys remember when he couldn't even eat any solids and because he couldn't swallow? Do you remember that from the surgery? How it hurt his ability to swallow, so we had to give him bottles?
Yeah, I remember one time we had pizza, so he chewed it all up and then spat it out everywhere.
So gross.
What? I remember that. That was so gross. But he just wanted to try things so bad. He wanted to taste them. He wanted to be like you guys. He got to taste foods. He loved to eat, and I remember all I wanted was for him to be able to kind of eat like a normal food.
I wonder if this audio is from home videos. I'm sure it
Never be able
is.
to swallow normal food, but then he did.
They probably took tons of videos.
Everything.
that.
Like he eats pizza.
Their kid was only going to make them for a short amount of
pretzels
time.
and chicken.
And fingers. He tried
He's been eating his dad's fingers.
Ow, Joel! God! Stop!
Okay.
and penguins.
Well, okay.
Oh,
Settle down. Come here. Let's sing a song. Okay. What should we sing, Isaac?
Line you up.
Okay.
Cause I like it.
We have-
Yeah.
Hey.
Settle
You guys
down.
would love to have fun
We're
with
trying to
you.
get the little
But at
story singing.
bedtime, every time. Elijah, lay down.
California?
I don't actually know. That's kind of why we're packing up everything, is because if the trial works really well, then maybe we'll stay in California for a really long time. Like, as long as it keeps helping Joel, then we want to stay and do the best we can for him and stay there where he's getting help. But if the medicine starts to not work, as soon as it's not helping him, I promise we'll come back home.
Are we going to Disneyland?
Yeah, of course. What do you think, Caleb? You okay with leaving for so long?
Such a kid's
Kind
question.
of excited, but I'm kind of not. I mean, I think it'll be fun, but I just don't like missing school.
Oh, yeah.
You're the only 8-year-old to ever. That's amazing.
I hate to miss school, huh? But, like, why?
Well, I just hate having all that homework that I have to do.
Oh,
You-
you hate catching up from missing school.
Your teachers are going to send me homework, and we'll just try to do a little bit of it every day, so it won't be that bad, but they'll still be fun stuff we can
How
do.
many kids get to go on an adventure?
They're clinging to this last
That's pretty cool. And
hope,
we're gonna be
you
staying
know, that
in the
this
middle of
trial's
San
gonna
Francisco,
work.
Near Golden Gate Park.
You can
there's
hear the
a museum,
optimism in their voices,
And there's
that they're just
there's a
hoping that
garden,
this thing's
and
gonna work.
There's the Golden Gate Bridge and water and prison.
I kind of skipped this to see if there's anything going on here with the letter.
We've been through so much already. This is a new degree of tragedy, but it's not so much different from the struggle we've already been living. We pressed into God. We pressed into faith. We fought until we found peace. We stood in peace when our flesh wanted to strive more. We stood in peace when it started to feel like laziness or foolishness or both. We waited for God to direct us specifically in prayer because all the directions we had initiated had not panned out. We prayed for no nausea because that's what we felt in our spirits we were supposed to pray, even though we'd prayed it countless times before while Joel continued to vomit. We saw one small miracle and then another. We waited to pray specific things until we were given specific direction, and we saw bigger miracles. And yet, if you asked either of us if we were doing enough, trying hard enough, we would say no.
And I promise not to leave you in the prison.
Alcatraz.
Hopefully we can get out of that before. Anyway, so we're gonna have lots of fun, and we're gonna spend lots of time with you.
As this long day draws to a close, I am tired, but not sleepy. My face is puffy from crying. I have a dry throat and dry hands, a slight headache, and a desire to write down absolutely everything. I want to describe the feeling of being entirely empty and entirely resolute. I want to explore how I can be deeply sad and incredibly hopeful at the same time. I want to talk about holding Joel's hand, walking down the hall wanting to soak in the moment, to memorize the feeling of having his hand and mine, to let it matter, and then hating that my thoughts swing to, because what if I can't hold his hand one day? And hating that thought, wishing I could just appreciate each second of Joel without that appreciation spilling into the pre-morning I refuse to do because I believe he will live. But instead of fighting the brief thoughts of mourning, choosing to fight instead that lie that says that those thoughts betray some doubt, some mistrust of God, when I know that those thoughts make me human. That God knows I am human. He doesn't make Joel's victory dependent on me never feeling unsure.
I'd like to hear the dad's letters. Oh, here we
I
go.
remember the day I was diagnosed.
Oh no, this is somebody else.
I remember the hallucinations from the high fever, a 5-year-old's nightmares. I remember my mother silently weeping in the doctor's office. I remember friends and family gathered around my hospital bed in prayer. I remember the 2-hour ambulance ride to St. Jude where they could better care for me. I remember the 2.5 years of weekly chemo treatments, the numerous lumbar punctures and bone marrow aspirates. I remember Doctors Bell, Dahl, and Kalwinsky, nurses Jean, Judy, and Dale, Miss Chris in social work, Darlene in travel, all part of the team that cared for me. I am a walking memorial to their successes. I remember the other patients I'd see each time I went to the hospital for chemo. I remember when some stopped coming. I knew what that meant. I remember the years of summer camp for children with cancer, children like me. I remember their laughter and the midnight talks of fears and joys, normal kid stuff. Some less so. I remember when some stopped coming. I knew what that meant. But I remember them. I am, and other survivors are, memorials to those who lost their fights.
I won't let myself hold anything back this time. I would rather feel disappointed and let God heal my heart than to feel like I did not push myself as far as I possibly could in faith for my son.
This game has
Her expectation is so maddening sometimes. You know what she wrote on the eve of Joel's first surgery? The one back in January when we first found the tumor? I seriously feel like a kid on Christmas Eve. I'm pleading for God to spare his life, and I'm tempted to despair because self-inspection leads me to conclude I shouldn't expect much of anything. And yet my wife is expecting a surprise party from the Lord, replete with presents, supernatural miracles. I envy her.
Hop in bed, boys. Let's go.
Boys, get in bed.
Oh, can you at least tell us a story?
Sure.
Okay. This is the story of a very brave knight named Joel.
Joel the baby knight?
Yes, Joel the baby knight. But he's also Joel the very brave knight. And he was being chased by a dragon named Cancer.
Because of his tumor?
Mm-hmm.
Where does the dragon live?
In a forest.
Is the dragon big?
Very big.
Does the dragon breathe fire?
So much fire, you guys.
So, Joel has armor, like a sword and a shield and stuff?
Ooh, or maybe a spear?
After playing Volgar the Viking, this is like
Yeah,
really
that
easy.
sounds good. So brave Sir Joel with his sword
Oh, man.
and his
So,
shield and his
unless you're
awesome
moving forward, you move
spear
backwards. That's
and
an
super
interesting touch.
jumping ability was being
Oh,
chased
wow.
by a dragon named Cancer.
What other superpowers does he have?
He also has grace.
That's not a superpower.
It's the best superpower.
Do you guys know what grace means?
Yeah, it's kind of like help.
Yeah, it's kind of like help. You know, and he's not the only one who's ever tried to fight this dragon. Some very brave knights have fought this dragon and lost. And some are able to drive the dragon off, and they can go home, and they can quit fighting for it. And the kingdom is safe.
Joel's been fighting this dragon for a long time, huh?
A long time.
But Joel found a nice empty cave where he could rest. And it seemed like the dragon couldn't find him. But just when he thought that the danger was past, the dragon found his hiding spot and came after him in the cave.
Well, that dragon's going to kill Joel. Joel's going to lose.
Why do you say that?
Because Joel is just a baby. Babies can't kill dragons.
You're right. The baby can't kill the dragon. But that's the best part of the story. God fights for Joel. So he fights that dragon cancer right with Joel. We know that God can win even if Joel can't. That's grace.
Tim from church, Mom. He died from cancer. Wasn't God fighting for him? Didn't he have to?
Of course God fought for Tim. Tim fought so well. So brave and so strong. God let him rest. It may have seemed like the dragon won because Tim died. We know that Tim that he's with God, and that God is so proud of him. So maybe for Tim getting to be done fighting monsters. Ryan! Oh, Ryan, get in the boat.
I can't.
You have to, you'll drown.
We're already drowning. How can you sit there like that?
Despair doesn't help anything.
Neither does false hope. And I'm not despairing.
How can you say false hope? You're drowning.
Well, you're missing your oars. And you don't even know where you're going. And yet you're so sure you're gonna get there.
It's better than drowning.
Well, enjoy floating on the surface like you always do.
There's nothing deep about drowning. Just get in the boat.
You have to let me feel this! Someone has to.
That's not fair. I love him as much as you do. I just really believe we're going to be okay.
I've been there where I feel like I have to worry for my wife and myself, and she's like, just stop worrying about stuff. And I'm like, you don't worry enough. Like, I need you to worry.
I'm sure my expectation looks like denial. But seeing Joel dying does not make me any less certain that he will be healed. In some ways, I feel more certain. Not because the same doubts don't come to me, but because I know that they will not be entertained much longer. Because this chapter is almost finished. and we will have an ending one way or the other. So the doubts and fears that make me reaffirm that even if I'm wrong, this is where I stand, become less and less powerful. People's conciliatory words of comfort meant to reassure us and help us accept Joel's death don't sit well with me. They aren't offensive because I know the heart behind them is good, but they are weak words because it's so obvious to me that death is the given. I don't have to work to be ready for it or accept it. It is coming whether I would accept it or not. It has been coming slowly for so long. I don't have to work to understand that Joel is dying. It is obvious. Heaven is amazing. And so I'm not worried about death. It will come regardless of where I stand and wait. But now, death is circling close enough for redemption to finally feel closer. This is the part of the story where a daring rescue can thwart death's intentions just in time, perhaps when it looks like it's already too late. I want to watch for that. I don't need to focus my eyes on death, studying it in its slow progression. Its course is already clear. But there is a glory that is coming, and its journey to us is wild and quick and frightening, and I want to be watching for that glory. I want to stand trembling in awe before God and His power. Not sure that this thing that we've asked for is something we can quite manage, but trying anyway. Death is the given. But the life that is possible now for Joel, the miracle that could come now that death is so close, is something worth pursuing, worth risking everything to see with my own eyes.
Oh, wow. What a good way to illustrate the loneliness I'm sure you felt. And, hopelessness. Man, the body language, how they illustrate feeling with body language in this game is really great. This just keeps looping. There's no way to not drown. Which I think is probably the point. I don't think I have any other options. Everywhere I move, I'm on Ryan, and I've got to swim. The resolution was he swam down deeper. Like, retreated farther from everyone else.
The sunset looks pretty from here. The orange glow cast on the wall. Better than the muted colors of this hospital. I wonder why they choose blues and greens. They, the ones who choose the colors that heal. Green for life. Blue for comfort. Purple stripes to hide the stains. This chair is too small and sticks to my skin.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Vinyl.
Yes. I'm glad he's finally saying what we've all thought about those vinyl chairs. Where's Joel?
Blue. Purple. The ocean, maybe? No, under the ocean. Silent, warm, and salty, like tears. He won't stop crying. I don't blame him. He feels miserable. I hate that we're here. I hate that he's sick. I just want him to feel better.
I hit start. That's crazy. Anybody who says video games aren't art, man, how are you able to say that?
It's okay, Jolie. Shh. Oh, don't throw your head, buddy. Don't.
There's a puddle of water in the game, too. That's wild.
Here we go. Bouncing around. Do you like that? Oh, I love your giggle. Bounce around. Is that funny? A bounce, a bounce, a bounce, bounce, bounce. Oh, he won't stop crying. I'm hungry. I wonder if he's hungry. He's screaming louder. Buddy, don't you want juice? He hits the box. I don't catch it.
Terrible.
He drinks it greedily. Big, deep gulps. Okay, Jolie, that's enough. Breathe, kiddo. And he does. And I wipe his face of snot and tears and juice. And then he vomits. And I catch it. I always catch it. I know you're thirsty, buddy, but you'll throw it up. No, don't grab too hard. You'll squirt all the juice out. Here, let me have it.
so late, Joel. Lay down. I can't hold you. I can't make you feel better. Okay, buddy, okay, I'll hold you. Shh. Oh, Joel Bug, you look so miserable. No! Don't hit your head on the bars, Joel. Joel! I know you're mad. Please stop. Please. Stop. I shake. I weep. I pray. I plead. I need peace. I am empty. You are. I don't know all that you are. You are there. I want you here. I want you to call my son.
So the capitalized Y in you is
And
typically
you
something
brought us
done
this far.
to reference God
Still
in the
here.
Bible and things.
Not dead. Not there. With you. God, I want him here with me. Please. Peace. He sleeps. Thank you.
Man, that would really help that I have unshakable faith like these people do in this situation, but I don't know that I can say that 100% for sure. I don't think anybody can unless you do it, you know?
There's a story in the Bible where Jesus and his disciples are on a boat. And a furious storm hits the sea, and everyone thinks they're going to die. And where do you think Jesus is? Rowing alongside them?
Nope, he's asleep.
He's asleep in the back of the boat. So his disciples are freaking out and wake him up, and they say, "Don't you care if we drown?" So Jesus gets up and he says to the storm, "Quiet, be still." And the sea becomes completely calm. Then he asks his disciples why they are so scared and if they have any faith at all. Like he was frustrated with them. Because even though Jesus said, "Let's go to the other side of the lake," his disciples thought he was going to just let them die.
This is the first time I've noticed Joel never has any hair, and I'm sure it's because Joel didn't have any hair in chemo.
Oh, when Jesus loves Joel, this I know. Oh, the Bible tells me so. Oh, when Jesus loves
So Joel died. Everyone does eventually, I suppose.
they are weak, but he is strong. Yes, Jesus loves Joel.
Ukulele.
La 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 la, he loves Joel so much. Oh, he loves Joel. The Bible tells us so. Oh, the Bible tells me so.
But more than that, if he does die, will Jesus even care? Will he weep for him as he did for Lazarus? Will he weep for me? I think greater than my fear of death is that of insignificance. Or rather, My default assumption is that my thoughts and passions and loves and the stuff of my being are insignificant. How could the creator of all that is and ever was love my son as he did Lazarus? And could my soul stranded on this blue raft awash in a sea of stars, ice, and dust matter enough to him to turn his hand in mercy?
Wow. The symbolism of the lighthouse is so interesting here. Like, it's like searching. Is there anything out there?
Even while Jesus wept for Lazarus, 5 minutes later he raised Lazarus from the dead.
I'm sorry. I should have known we'd both end up in the same place. We always do. It just scares me every time. I just really believe he'll be healed. I know you believe too, just when you act like that, I get all unsure.
I don't know that.
What do you mean?
I just hope that. I don't know.
Joel the Knight. He's fighting. His equipment's all busted up.
touch Joel right now. You created his cells, Lord. You created his body. You created everything that makes him up. Father, I pray that you bless them right now. I pray that you bless them with finances. Bless them with health. You bless their children, Father.
Mercy on us because he is weak.
I cry out to see your face in Joel. I cry out to see your love.
Can't ever get all the candles lit.
Lord, rise up. My God, come save him.
Oh Lord, my God, let this boy's life return to him.
Thank you that even as Father, I pray that you bless them now.
Got them all. Oh, no. No, I can't like that one. Go fast. Go fast. Oh, come on. I don't know if the point is you can't keep them all lit. I think that's probably the point they're making here. So each one of these keys is like a different prayer, it looks like. A plea out to God for Joel's life.
I will not let you go unless you bless him.
Angry prayers even.
Oh Lord, my God, let this boy's life return to him.
Lord, rise up. My God, come save him.
Lord, have mercy on us because he is weak.
Oh man. Look how big the cancer's gotten back there. The fact that God's cathedral is under construction, I think is kind of telling too. Oh man.
God, this is not beyond you. It is not. It is not.
Each candle's a prayer too, huh? They get them all? Oh, look. You can't get them all, ever. I got them all. Are they all going? Oh, kind of. They went out really quick.
Father, I pray that you would always fulfill the function of light.
Lord, have mercy on us because he is weak.
Father, I pray right now that you would Father, I pray that you would bless
God, that you're the God who
This is doing a really good job. Oh, I had them all for a second, I thought, man. Go. There one goes. Keep them all lit. The prayers are making things better if I keep doing this, but it's like you're stuck.
and God, we would risk everything to say we want to be your God. We would have. We don't want to settle less. You said that. I got to put here. God, this is not beyond you. It is not. It
Where's the match? I need to let this one go.
And so God, I just want to
This one on the piano never goes out.
That you would not make them afraid of their prayer of harm us. We are already poured out.
Build our faith, that you would speak to our hearts.
Lord, have mercy on us because he is weak.
Lord, rise up. My God, come save him.
It's trying to flicker. Those yellow lines, I think, are like connected to Joel. Yeah, they are. They flicker.
Father, I pray that you bless them all. Father, I pray right now.
When I light the candles up, they don't flicker anymore. It doesn't flicker. It gets really bright for a little while. I guess it still flickers. It's really bright in here when I get all these lit.
And so I think each one of us
Have mercy on Lord, have mercy on us because he is weak.
Lord, rise up. My God, come save him.
Oh Lord, my God, let this boy's life return to him.
Pretty desperate, like, please.
I will not let you go unless you bless him.
it might be, that is a representative of our faith. That maybe it's a small bit at first, but we just got to let the Lord just continue to renew our faith in it. And, we just believe we have nothing to fall back on, nothing to lose, nothing to gain.
Lord, we ask for your mercy. We ask for your grace. We ask that the story of your great love, and the story of your resurrection, and the story of your power, and the story of your
God, this is not beyond you. It is not something that is difficult for you or hard for you.
Lord, but we ask as your children, Lord, you are children and you call children. We ask God, earth as it is in heaven, there is no cancer in heaven. We call for you to bring heaven to earth and heal him, Lord.
Father, I pray that you bless them mightily. I pray that you bless them in finances, bless them in their health, and bless their children, Father.
You live in us and your power is in us, God. You gave us all the authority that Jesus had so that when we pray in his name, we can receive it. Yes.
This has been the first puzzle in the whole game that hasn't been really obvious, and like this game's so full of art. I feel like this puzzle is deliberately really hard to show like how hard it is to get answers in this situation, maybe.
Mercy on us because he is weak. Lord, have mercy on us because
Lord,
he is
rise
weak.
up.
Oh, Lord, my God, let this
I will not let you
go
go unless you bless him.
had to hit them all really fast.
I thank you, you're the God that walks out the walls of Jericho. I thank you that you are the God that fills the light of your house.
Lord, rise up. I will not let you go unless you bless him. Lord, rise up. Oh, God, I will not let you go unless you bless him. Lord, rise up. I will not let you go. I will not let you go unless you bless him. My God, come save him. Lord, rise up. My God, come save him.
And God, we would risk everything to say we want to see her. God, we want to see all that you have. You want to settle the last of you. And as a miracle working God, you will provide. Yes, ask your yes, all
right.
the good power that you have. And God, I know that you will right now.
So I've decided this part of the game is really about not knowing what to do. Probably pretty similar to how you feel when your kid would be dying of cancer. It's really disheartening, and I'm sure that they tried to capture a little bit of that feeling at this moment of the game.
Pray with all the strength and all the faith that is in us, Lord. There is no time left for this child on this earth. And God, so we come to you, Lord, with faith, with children, with faith as small as a mustard seed. And Lord, we speak in the name of Jesus. Oh my God, let this child's soul come back to him.
He was not in the wind. He was not in the earthquake. He was not in the fire. He was here in a gentle whisper.
To Amy from Ryan.
So here we are, And the air is emptier without his laugh, and yet our hearts are still full, though with a different drink. And this ride we've been on for so long is silent, and so also the Lord. And so we sit here in this new silence, and long for the music to start again, and for the disc to spin again, even if it means going round and round for many more years. For at least we would be moving, and Joel would be laughing here on earth, and not only in heaven. But in this space, I sense his silence is only because he is drawing his breath. And now we know love and longing, empty and full, all in one moment. And I am grateful that we loved him well, and that we miss him well. And I hope that in the Lord's next breath, he will whisper his love song to you, his beloved, and that you will know him differently and more deeply. But now, we grieve in silence, yet not without his presence.
I remember you. You made it too. I'm glad you're here. I love it here. I bet you would like it too.
Oh boy.
Look at all these pancakes. Did you ever see pancakes like this? They're big as me. A big one is for me. A little one is for my dog. I always wanted a dog, and now I got one. I even got to name it Manju.
Are you chopping onions up there?
Whoa, Bubbles?
My eyes are leaking like onions or something.
I love Bubbles.
Man. If you're Ryan, you gotta lose it when you play this scene.
Manju doesn't catch a bubble. She likes to bite them. Look, I can catch one.
Seriously, she's chopping so many onions upstairs. Must be having like onion soup or something.
Bubbles. Come here, Manju. Have another pancake.
He can drink all the juice boxes he wants without mom.
Whatever I want. I never fall.
He never pukes. Thank you for making this game. What a game. Alright, here's some final thoughts I have. I'm not gonna play throughout the credits here. Oh, maybe I will. There's some pictures of Joel here, huh? Yeah, the music and sound on this game was amazing. It kind of helped really make the game. Man. You just get a sense from these pictures that the little guy loved life, you know? Even though it was really hard. The puppies. Okay, I just finished playing this game about maybe 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, and then just, set up some equipment and started recording, and I don't know if that was enough time to let my brain get the thoughts, organized that I just went through. This is a true story, obviously, based on the fact that, they have photos of the real kid at the end of this game, and the dad in this game is the developer of this game. The dad in the game is the developer. So it's his story and his wife's story and their son's story. And it would be really, really foolish of me to act like I know what they went through at all. They went through something so intense and so difficult. There's no way I can identify with it completely. But I have a lot of things in common with them. I have a really strong faith in Jesus Christ as my personal Savior. And I make mistakes and I screw up a lot. I think everybody does. Even us who, are trying to follow Jesus. And so, basically in 1 Corinthians, it says that the ways of Christians seem pretty silly to people who aren't Christians. And so if you're not a Christian and you're watching this, I don't expect you to totally understand where I'm coming from, but I just hope you respect it. I respect you guys. I respect that you guys have got brains that function, and you have your own unique worldview, and I have mine. And my worldview just happens to match pretty closely to what's going on with the people in this game. And so this game to me wasn't even really about cancer as much as it was about faith in God and answering those hard questions about why does God let little babies like Joel get cancer and die? And I don't think there's a good answer that's going to satisfy people. And I think that's really what they point out in this game. And I think that the other takeaway from this game is they talk about little miracles that happen and how God got them through the process. And maybe God's hand wasn't in saving Joel, but God's hand was in giving this family strength. That they could be there for Joel and they could help Joel with his fight. And that they could enjoy Joel and love Joel the way they did. Maybe that's what God did for this family. I don't know. I don't know why God does what he does. I just don't. And I know that a lot of people who aren't Christians look at us accepting God's will as being something that's blindly following, or that it's not us thinking for ourselves or using our minds. And I don't view it that way at all. Like, I view it as God is love, and God loves us all. And basically, God hates that this stuff happens. And why he doesn't intervene in every situation like this, I don't know. Basically, the best way I know to put it is, you look at the narrative of the Bible, and I don't know what in the Bible is hyperbole and what is, literal truth, and what's, a metaphor. But there's a story about Adam and Eve, and ever since Adam and Eve had this fall, the world's been a messed up place, and I don't think God's any happier about a lot of what happens in this world than we are. I think it even hurts God more. I think God hated the struggle that Joel had to go through in this game and in real life. And we all cling to that hope that there's a big pile of pancakes waiting for us, And is it logical? No. It's not. Is it something that you can explain using just logic? Absolutely not. That's why it's faith. God can't be proven or disproven. And if you have faith in God, then this whole thing, you just cling to that hope that God's in control, and you cling to the hope that God's gonna do it in the end. And so just that scene where, I'm guessing I put myself in, when it was a nondescript person, in the role of the dad, because that's who I am, and just seeing that he was reunited with his son, and his son has his dog, and he's been hanging out in heaven for a while, and he's like, I think you're gonna think it's cool here. That's really what that hope's all about, I don't know if this game's going to impact everybody as highly as it impacted me, but it was hugely impactful to me. And I think I mentioned it in the video a couple times, but I'm going to just kind of tell you my story. My son was diagnosed with diabetes over the summer, and he got pretty bad. Usually cases of type 1 diabetes, which is totally different than the diabetes that, type 2s have. Type 1 and type 2 diabetes are totally different diseases, and they shouldn't have the same name. But basically, people who have type 1 diabetes, they stop making insulin in their bodies. And so my son's sugar got super high. He got super dehydrated because he couldn't hold any liquids down. And I remember looking at him in the hospital, he couldn't think right. And his mouth was, puckered and weird because he was so dehydrated, and he had IV fluids going into him. And the doctors wouldn't give us a whole lot of answers, because now in hindsight, I'm figuring out that they didn't have answers to give us. They didn't want to say, oh yeah, this is going to be fine, no big deal. Because there's cases of kids that go into what my son had happen that don't come out just fine. Thankfully, my son did. And, so then you get back to those hard questions again. Why did God have my son come out of this thing so well? And, Joel in the game didn't. And you can even go beyond that. Why does my son have diabetes and other kids that are out, breaking laws and being bad citizens don't? And I guess really the bottom line on this whole thing is, you can't dwell on that. If you're gonna have faith in God and hope and faith in God that he's the answers, you can't just be I need to know. You just have this hope of, I hope God knows, and I hope God has a plan. And you stick to that, and you follow the principles outlined in the Bible, and you hope for the best. And I know, again, that if you're not a person who has a worldview similar to mine, this all sounds really foolish. And just sounds like I'm, blindly following what I've been told. But it, for me, is real. And I've thought about this stuff a lot, and I've made a decision that that's what I do. And so this video game, I can totally get that these guys went through the ringer and that they came out on the other side. with a lot of hard questions, but not wavering in their faith. So, Ryan and Amy, very cool. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Really powerful. Just very powerful. I don't remember being impacted this way by any other video game or even movie. Just a masterpiece. I feel like we're going to talk about this game in years from now, saying, wow, this was the first one that was like, hey, let's make an awesome narrative, graphical narrative, and kind of put a game to it. I mean, that's really what this is. You go on a journey of cutscenes, and it's just so cool how things merge and transform, and just, it's such a good game. Paid full price for it, paid $15 for it, played it an hour and a half. So dollar for dollar, hours of play to money-wise, I'm looking at $10 per hour. But, you know, I mean, I think it was worth it. I don't think I'll ever play this game again. I just don't think I will. I mean, like, I'm glad I experienced it once, but I just don't see myself playing this game again. So anyway, this has been like a really deep, I guess, and kind of heavy-hitting Let's Play. But there's some more fun ones on my channel, so if you want to check those out, subscribe, and I promise I'm going back to lighthearted silliness after this. Alright, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.